Concerns me how we let the youths live. It's down to us to change how the youths think. More power in my jeans like my dick. Strong like a lion, like a
welcome to
rip shit.
an episode edition
crumble
of
like a
My
biscuit.
Life,
Pure love.
shot by
Enjoy hard.
Tico himself, Street Education. This is episode 1. We're just going to cover the basics of who I am and what I've been through, leading from a youth coming into this country from Trinidad to where I am now. So all my experiences and certain things that I've been through. This is episode 1, so you're gonna have to stay tuned for the rest of the episodes. You get me? Make sure that you hit that button down there, that like button, that follow button. Do what you need to do. People in the UK, especially around the Midlands, get up my boy Tico. You know what it is. Salute, kings and queen. Let's do this.
So, let's get straight into it. Just tell us your name and where you're from.
Alright, so real name is Dario. I've been known by D for a long time. Dario was a child that just came into this country. Damien took over that. I went by Damien for many years now, and then eventually Halo. You know, so shout out the people with me at the moment. I'm not gonna lie, like I said, shout out Tico, shout out my brother as well. Don't really want to be on camera at the moment, but it is what it is. So yeah.
So you say Dariel is the child that came over. Came over from where?
Came over from Trinidad, fam. Get me? 7 years old when I first touched over here. Fresh. Didn't know what this world. I didn't even know it was cold like this over here. You get me? Imagine that. Came over here. It was fucking freezing, fam. Snow and all of that. Yeah, man. Dario was that innocent child, like from Trinidad, growing up in Trinidad. Like that's what my grandmother and close family members used to call me. I mean, I had many names, many nicknames from family that used to call me certain names or whatever, like related to them, innit? So yeah.
Okay, so before we get any further, then let's just get a little insight to what life was like in Trinidad for you growing up.
Okay, so from what I can recall, still, life in Trinidad was I won't say it was easy, but because you're used to it, innit? I was used to the Caribbean life. That's where I was born, that's where I grew up for a while. So it was everything that I was used to. So to me, it was easy, sunshine, hot. Obviously, sometimes you get the rainy, stormy seasons and them things there, but it is what it is, innit? I had my family, friends, fresh fruit. You know how it is. You've been back to the Caribbean, so you know how we eat over there, healthy. See what I'm saying? I grew up in a place called Vance River. I was living with my aunties, my grandmother and my aunties and whatnot. And at certain times, because my dad lived in Couva, so certain times I'd go over to Couva to stay with my dad. You get me? My mum was from San Fernando, Laramie, and them places there. You get me? So kind of did the whole trip around Trinity. You get me? So I've been about. To me, life was calm because people are who people are. Man, know it for how it was. People didn't hold back. Like there wasn't no, if someone wanted to say something, they just say it. There was no biting tongues. There was no mad laws that we have over here. You get me? Freedom of speech and them things. It really was that. You see what I'm saying? So when you're at school and you call you ugly or something or big head or something, they're just expressing. Give me what they feel, what they think. You get me? There was no such thing. Oh, you're being bullied or picked on. That's just what it was. You get me? It helped man to be able to be outspoken.
Okay, so you came over here when you were 7. Where did you first live?
So coming over here, I first lived in North London, Haringey. So just down the road from Finsbury Park, around the corner, a road called Allison Road. It was just me and my mum in a flat. My mum was always over here, like from what I know. I didn't know my mum until I came over here as a child, you get me? So I had no recollection of her before that, you get me? So it was mad, because that's one of the reasons why I mainly did come here, because I never had that connection with her. So I wanted to wanted to know what who my mum was, you get me? At the same time, certain things that she showed me, like, yeah, come over here, it's a bit of life, and it's snowing over here. Man didn't know what snow was, fam. Man saw it on the TV, or man saw it, you get me? Pictures and them things, and I didn't know this white thing that looked fluffy like the clouds, fam. I thought, what, man, gonna go play in the clouds, bruv? Get me? Like, I thought I had an opportunity, fam. Man, don't get that in Trinidad. Until man realised how cold it was. You know what I mean? And like, the snow was actually ice and them things there. But by then, man was here, innit? So it's like, gotta make do, innit?
Okay, so you say that you came over here to your mum, and she's always been here. It was just you and your mum. Do you have any other brothers or sisters?
I got a half brother that's in Trinidad still, Kevon. I shouldn't really be doing the name calling thing, so I'm gonna try and refrain from doing that as much as I can. But yeah, I got a half brother. He's still over there. Obviously, again, circumstances in it, which within families you never really know certain circumstances until you grow up in it. So he wasn't, even though he's my half brother, we didn't grow up together. You get me? From what I know, from what I was told, he was given up for adoption. You see what I'm saying? I went with my dad's family, and my dad's family, and I don't know what happened with him, his dad, or whatever. You get me? Like, I didn't understand it. You get me? So I know that he was given up for adoption, and that's where he still is now.
Okay. So, life in London. What was it like for you growing up?
London was lit. I'm not gonna lie. London's lit, fam. From north to east, northwest, even south. You get me? South is not really a place I lived much, but I had a great aunt down there, and summer holidays I'll be down there. You get me? So spend like 6 weeks summer holidays down there and them type of things there. You get me? So I was kind of aware of the area and aware of the place. You get me? So where I grew up in East, it was lit, fam. I mean, from that 7-year-old till about 12, 13, you get me? Man didn't experience no type of issue until about 11, 12, you get me? First year secondary school, where man actually started to see what this world and this country was really about. But beforehand, man was a bit young in mind and naive as well to what this country was actually about, and who I am and how I fitted in. So it weren't until turning about 11, 12 that man started realizing racism. You know what I mean? Man being called a coon, a nigger, monkey, and told to go back home. I didn't understand them things there. Man spoke to the Mardiks and like, yo, at school these white youths are calling man coon and this and all that. Get me? At the time, she's just brushing it off like, watch that. I already penny what people say and them things there, but at the same time, how can I not? You get me? Because the emotion behind it, you feel what I'm saying? And it weren't like one youth, it was a bag of them, you get me? So man kind of quickly came to the realization that, yo, this ain't a fun and game thing, you get me? You man are actually against man. And it weren't until I speaking to other youths, like, yeah, man, don't let them call you that, you get me? Like, calling you nigga, like, that's you know what I mean? Can't call you them things there. And through TV, you know what I mean? I feel like that was the first time I see American History X. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, that kind of opened my eyes, like, wow, that's what you lot do to niggas. That's what you lot do to coons. Hold on, that's what you think I am? Nah, that had to stop. You see what I'm saying? So that was the era of Daryl dying from that point there, you get me? Because it wasn't really something that I could fit into as that person, as that persona. Do you get where I'm coming from? So you have to adapt in it. I got kicked out of school, secondary school for year 7. Kicked out, obviously having a fight and hitting a man with a chair, hitting the teacher with a chair. So I say, like, obviously I got sent home. You get me? Sent back to Trinidad, that is, for a year. So by the time I came back over here, I was like, what, 12? You get me? Coming on to 13. So it's like, I've adapted that mind threat now. Because when I went back home to Trinidad, it's like, they're calling man English boy. Like, man ain't born from there or something. You get me? Like, man didn't come from there. Like, English boy. Man, used to get my mad. You get me? Like, because I just know where I just come from. Like, they don't see me as English. You get where I'm coming from? So I knew that, yo, when I come back to England, for me to survive over here, I had to adapt that nature of a British mentality. You get where I'm coming from? I had to be like the British shoots them. So that's when, like, Damien came into play, because Damien was the aggressive one. Like, yeah, I've already been kicked out of school. I've already got into certain situations. You see what I'm saying? So now I know to stand my ground, innit, a bit more. So as Damien, it's like, yo, you do any fuckery that I don't agree with, I'm nicking you down. There's no two ways about it. You see what I'm saying? Because I already had that expression from being called and them names and picked on, and parents of the older generation that had went through that should have been more wiser. And I'm speaking for parents like mine and any other parents that did what my parent did, rather than take responsibility and break it down to, man, this is what you are, this is what they're calling you, this is the division. You get me? I didn't feel that was what, you know, when your parents told you, yo, when you're out there, you're a representation of me, you act how I want you to act. When you're in the house, you talk however you want to talk, act however you want. What? So I had to put on an act for the white man. You know, when I'm in the population, in the community, I had to pretty much be white then, innit? You get where I'm coming from? And that didn't really sit well with me. Like, no, I am who I am, innit? Fuck that. They don't like it, we just go toward it, innit? And that was the mentality of Damien coming in from a young age.
So, you now live in Nottingham, right?
Facts.
How long you been here?
Been in Nottingham since 2005 now, so it's been a minute now still.
What caused you to come to Nottingham?
Why? I came out of jail in 2005, innit? Manners. Came out of jail in 2005, and it's like, I was involved in some things before I even went to jail. Did a 5-year sentence. So what I was involved in, I kind of knew from in jail. I knew that I wanted a better life, innit? But how do man go about getting this better life? Man don't. Living in London is like a maze, fam. You're a mouse, innit? You can either try and speed all the way through, or you can use tactics and try and maneuver a way through that. You get where I'm coming from? And it's like, I was older now, because what I went through was grooming, innit? To be part of an organisation, a society. And I was groomed by all the women. You know where I'm coming from? I kind of knew that it wasn't really right. You see what I'm saying? But again, at this point, I wasn't under my house now. I wasn't under the mother figure. You get me? Mum couldn't control me. Because I already see what she, in my mind personally, no disrespect to her, but I saw it that she was weak. You get me? Because you need to conform to who the white man is telling you to be. I can't conform to who the white man is telling me to be. I know who I am. You see what I'm saying? So I had to leave home from a very young age. And leaving home to survive on the streets, fam, especially in the streets of London, you have to have some form of unit. Where I'm coming from. And that's how I made my bonds with people, guys that already knew me. It was like I was living like a double life as a child. You see what I'm saying? And I feel that's where my split personality came into play, because it's like, when I was in East London, around people that I already grew up, I was calm, placid. You see what I'm saying? Manners and all them things there. When I was in Northwest, under the organisation, I had a different type of energy, because I was made to do things and see things that a kid or child shouldn't see it for them ages there. You get where I'm coming from? Coming out of jail, you know, I did talk about leaving, but when you're part of these organisations, you can't leave that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what was being told to me, like, you can't leave, bruv. You leave in a box, yeah. You know what I mean? When it's time to send you off, that's how you leave, but you're not leaving, fam. My cousin got killed. Fortunately, R.I.P. Died in my arms and that. I tried to help him as much as I can, but it is what it is. From that moment there, everything just turned upside down, innit? Even that life that I thought I had, which I thought was better than the life that I was living before, it turned out the grass weren't greener on the other side, you get me? That kind of broke me, fam. And then to find out the things and the way how things happen, it was like he was set up and there's people close to us. So I started realising, wow, people close to you can, like you can't trust no one, fam. You know where I'm coming from? Like, it was mad. And obviously my cousin, being who he is, had a name for himself, already had a figure, you get me? So it was like he was respected for who he was and what he did. And through that, I went back and I said to them, yo, listen, I gotta leave. And I was told, for you to leave, alright, then cool, because of how much work man's put in. And when in truth, you should be the next one up in line to be in charge now, innit? Take over from his place, innit? But we'll give you the opportunity, you see what I'm saying? But you need to handle this business first before you go, innit? So man, I had to handle one or two things, and then it was that time. But what really made me leave was when, like, you know, the hospital, being at the hospital, I remember the blood all over me and crying my eyes out, and everyone else is coming into the hospital and his mum's come running in, and I don't know even to this day how to feel about it, cause it's mad, because she told me, like, yo, it's your fault, like, I wish it was you that was dead and not him. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, okay, but I wished I was dead too, you get me? You know where I'm coming from? So I just knew there wasn't a life there for me no more. I was gonna leave regardless. Whether they made it happen or I made it happen, nothing was gonna stop me from leaving.
So, what have you been to jail for, and how many times have you been to jail?
Mad thing. My first sentence was for robbery. Before I went to jail for the robbery, I was on remand on a case with my cousin and obviously his people. So I really can't discuss, but it was a situation that went wrong. Some people lost lives. That's the first taste of jail for me. And even though I was young, like 18, 19, because of how I carried myself and the people that I was around at the time, man was sent straight to fucking scrubs. You see what I'm saying? That's a big man's jail. I'm not gonna lie, scared the shit out of man. I mean, like, scared. These times, jail weren't like how jail is now. There weren't no TVs and all that fuckery. Like, you know what I mean? It was raw, fam. Straight banger, lock up. You know what I mean? Like, 4 walls, big men. Like I said, you know what I mean? But obviously, I was only on remand for like 6 months, if that. You know what I mean? Maybe that was a sign that I should have left, but I didn't. At the most, I just moved back down to East for a little bit to take some time to chill out. You get me? Count my blessings and that. My cousin was in jail a lot longer than I was at that point there. I then went to jail properly for robbery that they claimed that I'd done, but I didn't do the robbery. Again, I was the older of the people that was there, and it's like, when we went to court and things was being said in the court, obviously I laughed in it. So when I laughed in the court, like obviously the judge is explaining, all of the solicitors, the barristers explaining how my man got robbed and how he was beaten and stripped and them things there, I laughed in it. So they looked at me like, why you laugh? Why you find that funny? Because no one can't do that to me. That's why I find it funny, innit? But I know the ends that I'm living in. It was, at the time, the youth that got robbed, he was Asian, you get me? And the area that I was living in East London at the time, it was Asian versus black. There was some mad beefs going on, you get me? So, to me, it's like, well, it is what it is. I know no one ain't doing that to me, you get me? Obviously, there was more to why a man went jail, because one of my co-defendants, obviously, he done a lot more talking than me and my other co-defendant. You get where I'm coming from? So he ended up getting acquitted, and me and my co-defendant went to jail. You get me? Got 2.5 years for the robbery, and then like what? I was in Feltham, I went to Chelmsford, I went to Parva. Get me? I got released a bit early for good behaviour, innit? Put in a bail hostel, told that I can't have connection with these certain people and whatnot. Me being young though, I'm fast innit. I'm ignorant as well, like, so I've ended up linking back up. I was only out for like not even a week, for about 4 days, fam. Linking up with a couple other people, and I'm hearing one of my peoples was getting troubled by some youths coming to his house and, you hear me, punched him up a couple of times. His little sister's crying. They've robbed his house. They've took his car keys. You get me? Violating. It's his mum's yard as well. You get me? So, what? Nah, brother. That's my people. So, and I found that, nah, I'm on some fuck that. Let me go speak to someone and get the ting in it. Man got a ting now. I say, right, cool. Hey, what? Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna go around the estate and man just gonna bun anyone man seeing it. Fuck that. Because you can't do that to my people. You get me? That was my mind frame. Turns out man was in the car on the high road. The youth turned around and says he needs to go get brake pads for his car. Bro, we're about to do a shootout. The fuck you getting brake pads for your car for? Man? You get me? Like, do that shit after. But it is what it is. Put up to the garage. By the time he jumped back in the car, we drove down the road. Armed feds just swarmed the car. You get me? Armed police. Rah, okay. I tried to jump out and just walk off casually. I had my bag with me, innit? Tried to walk off casually. They come up to me like, no, grab me, like, open up my bag, went in there, found a revolver. You get me? Fucking found shells for it as well in a little container. Straight away, man pulled it out like, yeah, we got it. I thought, what? We got it? Someone snitched then. Some talkings happened because you should know that, you get me? Like, the way it was too much, fam. You got it, fam. I was like, rah, okay. You get me? Like, I was still linked to the organisation, like I said. And I feel that's what kind of really saved me, because I had a lot of bells with me. You get me? And when it come to the court case, the bells didn't turn up. The firearm turned up, and then they're saying the firearm's an imitation firearm. You get me? Revolver, 4.5. See what I'm saying? So, man's like, okay, cool. I don't understand what's happening, but now I've got 2.5 years again. On top of my 2.5 years that I just had. So now, judge is saying you got to do everything. That's a straight 5 years. But, at the end of the day, I already done like pretty much 2.5. So I was looking at it like, yeah, alright, fuck it. Another 2.5, man, can write that. You get where I'm coming from. They're the only things I've actually legally been to jail for.
So, since jail, what have you done?
Elaborate on that a bit. What do you mean?
What's life been like since jail?
Okay. A lot of things happened when I was in jail still. I had my head split open when I was in jail still. And I was in a coma. Lost my memory and all sorts. Battled to even get back 100% if you can call it that. You get me? That was that gang shit. But even then it was a racial attack. You know what I'm saying? Because I was in the Norwich prison. You mean, them Norwich man and white man, not them that size out really like, man. Not like us anyway, you get me? So it was a racial attack that happened, and I felt that was another turning point for me in my life where I said like, yo, man, enough is enough. When I came out of jail and I moved up here, it was like, I want to experience a life of love, fam. Man can't remember the last time man felt loved, fam. You know, like that. Like happiness, loved, fam. Not no manipulation. Not no people telling you we're taking you in and we're going to treat you like family and and then this league. None of that general love, fam. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like I wanted, innit? And I started thinking about things like kids. Like my cousin, like I said, he got killed. He had kids. You know what I mean? So them type of things like, wow, am I ever going to have kids and a family and them type of things, that's what kind of motivated me. So from that moment there, like I said, you know what? Let me see if I can do something with my life. It was a struggle the first year because, you know, a lot of things I was still connected to passed away and that one doing life now and all that type of shit emotionally fucked with, man. And I was in a hostel, and I feel like being black as well in this hostel and from London, they didn't know how to deal with me. Get me? And they brought in a woman to work with, man. Get me? It's higher. You know, again, I don't really want to call too much names, so yeah, they brought her in to work with, man, and obviously she kind of sat down one day and spoke to man, and slightly I felt that she was a bit intimidated, but she still stood her ground, you get me? And it's the way and manner how she treated me that made me feel raw. And she told me about Mothers Against Crime, you get me? When I heard about Mothers Against Crime, I was like, raw. These times, again, like I said, I was still in connection with certain people and chatting to certain people and things there, you get me? And I was given opportunity through Mothers Against Crime. These times I didn't even speak to my biological mother, you get me? There was no connection these times. We ain't spoke for years, you get me? And like, she was telling me I need to go and talk to her and make that connection, you get me? On my path of doing so, I went to Manny, to one woman that lost her son. Excuse me, she lost her son. I stayed with her for a couple of days, like 4 or 5 days or so, you get me? It meant a lot to her, but I started to see it from the flip side now. The woman would wake up every day and still put out her son's clothes, make the son's breakfast, like we got bowls and plates and whatnot on the table. That hit home for me, knowing the things that I've done, the place that I come from. I was like, yeah, alright, cool, I get it. I know what it feels like. Not know what it feels like firsthand, but I can see what it feels like as a parent to lose a child to what's going on out there, you get me? Yeah, I feel like that really gave me the kickstart to say this is what I want to do with my life. I want to be in a better place, I want to be more positive. Seeing that. Once I did get back down to London, I made the connection with family, tried to fix whatever was broken. I had to go and visit a few people that was down there and explain some situations and some things that happened, just to put their minds and their hearts at ease, innit? One of the hardest things I probably ever had to do. Never thought, didn't know what the outcome was. Anything could happen. I can go tell the woman or the mother or the family, and they can turn against me, or they can phone the police. I could get arrested. I have to go. Yeah, I mean, anything could happen, innit? So I guess I just put it in God's hands. I said, boy, God's just gonna have to do with this, innit? It is what it is. It turns out how it turns out. And I came back to Nottingham. I feel that was a big realization for me. I contacted the same woman, like, yeah, listen, I need to work with you. I need to do this Mothers Against Crime thing. I don't know what your reasons are. I don't know what you're doing or how you're doing it. I'm still figuring out how I want to do it, but I'm a part of this team now. Obviously, she's kind of, yeah, alright, cool. You know, we'll find a place for you, whatever. But I had already started to branch out to, you know me, do my own thing. That's how I ended up meeting my first baby mother. Daughter was born in 2009. That was a different type of gift, different element, you see what I'm saying? I felt so much peace and joy, like I cried, like, you know me? At the same time, it reminded me of something we used to say back home, and in London when I say back home, it's that you cry when a child's being born because they're coming into a world like this. And you laugh and you be joyful when someone goes because they're leaving this place and going on to a better place. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got to deal with the struggles and shit that man are going through. That really hit home, seeing my daughter, you get me? I know that, yo, I got to protect this child. I got to do everything I can for this child because, like, yo, I helped bring you here. I played a part of you being here. I can't leave my responsibilities, no matter how hard they get. You know where I'm coming from? That's another reason, I guess, that kind of pushed me into doing what I needed to do to become who I am now, or trying to be.
So, what is it that you do now with yourself to better yourself?
Okay, so I started working with, obviously, yourself. We kind of clicked. When we clicked, we hit it off in a different aspect, because you had a different type of life from what I've ever experienced, and you were showing me about that, as well as teaching me about this city, certain things I didn't understand. You get where I'm coming from? But we was working on an organisation run by her. At the same time, you already had plans, certain things that you had developed. So Boys to Men was an organisation, or a whole thing that you and someone else developed. You see what I'm saying? Whether it was taken by her or not, it started with you lot. And sitting down and speaking to you, we knew that, we have kids and we want a better life and we want to change. And it doesn't make us all the things that we thought it would make us when we was younger. Like, if you're not with a man, then if you're not on the block, you're a pussy. It doesn't make us that. We come to that realization knowing that, it makes us better. You see what I'm saying? And that was man's drive and man's energy. And meeting someone like you as well, who was positive on that road, and at the same time, I got a shout out a man like Wince, and I shouldn't even call him names, but that young king there, because the gap that I wasn't with working for her before I met you, man had already kind of got to make a link with him and got to know him, and he was on the same path with More Lions. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, he showed me though, with More Lions, it wasn't just about the street thing or about the community thing like that, but it was about our people. You see what I'm saying? I've never seen nowhere that I've ever grown up something like that run, my brother. You see what I'm saying? That's a powerful movement. Obviously you hear about Black Panthers and them things there in America, but that's in America. You get where I'm coming from? Never heard about it over here. So it's like, I needed to take part. Something told me that that's where a part of where my calling, that's where building my character is going to come from as well. You get where I'm coming from? Started hearing like the teachings and the education that they was doing, and it really sat with man. Like, it really made man feel like, I know that I'm on the right path. I know I'm doing the right thing. I just wasn't sure of how I was doing it. And then I met up with you. Obviously, we worked together. We did certain things together. We went to certain areas and worked with youths in certain areas, and even better certain situations for certain youths. And all that time, I kept notes, writing things down, putting things down, because in my head I knew that was something to come from it. And it weren't until me and you started parring like tight, and we started talking, and we went yard, certain things happened in yard, and it was like, boom. I said to myself, when you told me like, don't stop, don't stop, Obviously, you said, you're there to support there and work there, being part of the thing as well. And even if you was to start doing a different job or whatever, don't stop. And that was the love and the direction and the push that I needed. You get where I'm coming from? So, man started Men's, where man can link with all these other youths, men out there from all different ages, and each one teach one, innit? So the knowledge that I've got can teach someone else. The knowledge that you got I can teach another man. Maybe the things I'm experiencing, I can help another youth with mental health or certain types. Do you know what I'm saying? Each one teach one, and it's been hard to get it off the ground, because obviously, man's been getting blackballed left, right and centre. But at the same time, man's always had one or two people that working from her that I made a link with, so I had like a little clientele base that I still run with now, you get me? I still work with them now, they still shout me now, so it's like, even certain things out of the city that me and you did, like going to fucking, where's that place we went to? Was it Chef? I think it was Sheffield. I can't remember, I feel it was Chef still. Going to places like that and meeting up with certain people, doing certain interviews and speaking to certain people down there. I met a woman down there, her son's running a similar sort of organisation, off the strength of one of their friends being killed. And it just seemed like everything fitted in. You know where I'm coming from? So I kind of stuck with men's and said, yeah, no, this is what I'm doing. This is what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? We all work in men's. We all have a part in men's, innit? You know where I'm coming from? It's not like I'm manager, I'm head of the household, I'm this, I'm that. Nah, because I'm not better than any other man out there. Do you know what I'm saying? I might just know a little different. He might know a little more different. You know where I'm coming from? So it takes us coming together. So it wasn't a structure of building men's, wasn't like, oh, this is my thing. No, this is our thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's our thing because you're a man too, innit? So, yeah, that's where I'm at now.
So, apart from men's and the other projects that you're running, are you still doing work with the same person / company that you was working with?
No. Nah. That's dead now. You get me? The only people that I can say company-wise or organisation-wise that I still kind of really fucks with is More Lions. And like I said, no one ain't doing what they're doing, innit? Regardless of personal issues, regardless of feelings anyone might have, I can't really hold them things there. I gotta give them credit where credit is due, and the fact is, at the end of the day, no one's doing what they set out to do, innit? And they're the only people from time to time that I keep that link with, because I know that in the end it's all gonna come back together. Other than that, you know already, we got a strict team. You know what I'm saying? I don't really play with anyone that hasn't got a mentality like you or myself. You know where I'm coming from? So it's people that I do link with now or work with now or help if me go forward. They're all people that are in a different place in life that want to better themselves. So they want to have something better for their kids and for their family. They want to see a better life rather than these youths out here dying all the time. You get me? So to me personally, government or not, I'm always going to run with that. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I'd rather be that outside person in the community that can actually touch the streets and walk the streets and do what I'm doing on the streets without having to go back, yes sir, this sir, that sir. Nah, fuck that. I can sit down with the youth. He already buns weed, he bunning his weed up for me. They can keep that. If it means coming out, they come out with 33,000 a year or whatever, bruv, keep all of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm good.
So, last but not least, what's your plans for the future?
Plans for the future. Right now, I'm trying to build and develop things more for my kids. I'm working on self, but I want to develop things for my kids because I've already come to the realization that I'm not going to stay in England. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to go set up and live somewhere else and do what I need to do. England's not going to... It might be where business and money comes from to help support, but it ain't the forefront of what I need to be doing. You get where I'm coming from? So I feel that's my plan for the future, like really making sure that my family and my friends, people that I class as family, that they're good. You know what I'm saying? When I go, when it's my time, that they're good. They remember me for something better than what I've ever been before. That's what I'm saying. So building people, having connections with people, that's important to what I'm doing. Important to when I go, leaving my kids back, because you have to remember, I've got a whole generation, I've got a whole bloodline that I'll be leaving back. But when I go, do I know that they're around stable people? Do I know that they're around people that want the best for them genuinely? You see what I'm saying? Rather than having a cycle repeated. I was groomed. I want none of my kids, my nephews, my nieces, I don't want none of them to grow up being groomed too. You see what I'm saying? Go through that, what I went through, have that feeling that I had, end up with the mental affection that I end up having. You see what I'm saying? That's all bullshit. So, personally, to move forward I just have to keep being me and a better version of me. Each and every day, I just pray to be better than I was yesterday. You see what I'm saying? I'm not perfect, fam. Man make mistakes. Man know this, innit? But I feel that our mistakes, it isn't like, you know, your faults, your wrongs isn't something that's negative that should be used against us, fam. That's a positive thing right there, that you can make a mistake, that you can be wrong, that you can make a fault. One, it shows you're human. Two, you now have the experience to teach someone else better. Like, yo, I did that and it was wrong. Get me? Not saying that it might be wrong for you, but I'm just telling you the outset of the picture. Even if you change one life, fam, you've made a difference. You see what I'm saying? So that's my goals for the future. I've got a lot more things coming still.
Great interview, lad.
So, more time. This is like episode 1. Season 1. My life. Only I can tell my story in it. So this is my story. I'm Halo. I'm Damien. That's what you need to know for now. Shout out the brothers that are with me, the brothers that are taking part. We're yet to have more things coming soon. Another interview will be tomorrow with another brother of mine that will be holding the interview. So yeah, moving forward in it, onwards and upwards.
Catch 'em all.